So in this tutorial I want to look at creating this bracket here. Nothing too complex, just this flange here on the angle just needs a little bit more thought. So I'm going to actually start by drawing that circle by center. I'm going to lock it to this plane, but I'm not actually going to draw right in the center because I don't want to lock it into that point. So I'm going to start with a 40 diameter circle here, 20 for the side pieces, and just making sure that they are in line. So from here I can then just draw a tangent arc. Don't start on the sort of quadrant points. If you start down here, and you can drag it round to be tangent, and it will follow around until you get the tangency symbol, and that's sort of easily managed in that fashion. So just to sort of lock those sizes, I'm going to put dimensions on. And then the distance from here to here is 25, and the same on the other one as well. So from there I can just use my trim command and just sketch over the pieces I want to remove, and that just tidies up that sketch for me. So if I drop out of the locked plane, open out these sketches and select sketch 1, I can use my steering wheel to position it back over the center before I move it off, but I need this right in the center here. So if I just hover over the arc, it will do that for me. So I can then just drop it down. It's correct in the Y direction, so I just need to move it across in the other two. And then from here it needs to come down 64 and across 20. So we can drop that down. Now 20, and because it's already in the center, all I need to do is rotate the steering wheel. So if I hold the shift key down and click on the plane here, that rotates it around, and I can pick on the plane and just put in my rotation that I'm interested in. So from here all I need to do is click on the region, direction, and it's 10mm thick, and hide my PMI. So that's the sort of first part of the model done. I'm now going to create the piece up at the top. So I'm going to use a arc by center, again locked to this plane, and inner one is 18 radius, starting at the center, and just bring that round. The outer one is 24, again going 180, and then use the line command to just close off that. Right mouse click to start the new one, and that creates our closed region. So the thickness here is 28. So if I pick up on the region and click on the arrow, one direction or the other, if I go shift it will take it in both directions. I can just type in the size after, and then I'm going to create the tabs around the top. So starting with the line command, lock into this top plane, F3 and then Control H. I just need to start drawing, hit the A key to switch to an arc, and that automatically drops back to the line command. So lock the center of that to there using the horizontal vertical relationship, and then add the dimension. So that's going to be 9 and 36 to the center. So from here we can unlock the plane. I'm going to use the extrude command this time and choose the chain option, pick in on there, click on the inside and turn the shift key off, hit the shift key to give it some depth and drop that down 10 mil. So if I want to sort of mirror or rotate that around, I can select that, hold the control key down and select that top face so that I've got the whole closed profile. I can then come up here to the copy command, position the steering wheel in the center and then just drag that around 180 degrees and that sort of attaches back in. So from here I'm looking at creating this piece down here, so it's a 30 rad and 34 width, dropping down to 51 plus the 8. I'm going to bring it down to the bottom edge, so that'll be 61. So again, start with the arc by center, lock the plane, 30 mil rad, Control H takes me through to the sketch view, drop that in, use a rectangle by center. I'm just going to sort of hover over there and get that position, 34 wide, and use the trim command just to get rid of these bits and add in the width, radius, and then the depth from there is, as I said, 61. So that creates my profile. As I said, 8 mil thick, so I'm going to use the extrude command again, just because it doesn't go and create a closed profile. So using the chain, I can click on there, accept it with a right mouse click, give it a direction, and if I go shift to take it in both directions, 8 mil thick, and that creates this portion here. So then if I draw a line locking it to this face with the F3, making sure I don't pick up off anything else, so that's a horizontal line, and smart dimension must be 8 mil. So from here again I want to extrude. If I go face and pick the region and make sure that this goes through next, right mouse click and enter the direction, and then that creates that nicely. So I'm just going to add these major rounds on here. So we've got a 4 and a 12, so I'm going to add these in Synchronous. So that one wants to be 4, that one wants to be 12, and that's got the bulk of this created now. So I just need to create this profile on here. So 38 down and 20 out for that 12 mil radius center, and then it sort of comes into that point there. So it's going to sort of come down off here. So I want to just draw on the ZY plane. So start here, lock the plane. So as you can see, it sort of starts here, drops down across, A key for an arc. This is 12 rad, as I said, and I just want to sort of bring that round so far and drop that in and bring that into this edge here. So adding in those dimensions, So that should be 20. This should be 12. And so 2mm gap on there. And I said this was 38. And the dimension on here, I believe should be 24 from the center. So I'm just going to use a distance between dimension on here. Like so. I'll leave the rounding till later. So again, we can unlock the plane and use the extrude command, changing it to chain. Inside again, shift key to split it, and this thickness is 6mm. So we just add that in there. So we've now pretty much finished this apart from the rounding. What we're looking at doing is putting some holes in. So we've got the holes here which are 9, and then a 10mm hole in here, and these ones are 8. So if I go to the hole command, this defaults to 10. So I will start with the ones on this face here, so F3 to lock it, and by locking it, it means I can pick up off the center points. Then if I go back to the hole command and choose my, actually I've done that wrong, they should have been, oh no, they are 10, no, 8. So I'll go back and change them in a minute. The 10 is, where are we? The ones in the side here. Unlock the plane, lock to this one. So that's the 10. And then we've got the 9s in the top. So if we come back here, change that. Again, unlock the plane, F3, put those in. So as I said, these ones should have been 8. So if we come back here, and the first ones, we can just change those to an 8. So now I need to add in the rounds, and I'm going to switch to ordered for that. So right mouse click on the header, go to ordered, and I can use the round command. So this one here, again is 24. And then we have a 1mm rad on this one here. So just right mouse click when you get the preview, finish, so on. So then we need to work through adding in the rounds for everything else. Everything else is 2mm. So we can start sort of in a number of places. It doesn't really matter. As you can see, we've sort of got them all around this edge here. So I'm going to start with a 2. I'm just going to put these ones in. and then change, if I leave it on chain, it makes selecting these ones a lot easier by having the other ones in first. And again, you know, I could do them all at the same time, but this just sort of gives it a little bit easier to pick up those edges that we're after. So again, you know, we've got rounding on here. And finally on the underside of here and here. And on the back edge of there. So this sort of completes the tutorial, and hope you find it useful and looking at different ways of doing. So I now want to look at doing the same part in ordered. So I'm just going to start at the top and sort of work down on this one. So if I go extrude, coincident plane, and choose that front plane, I'll do pretty much basically the same as I did before. So this is 18 radius, change it to 24, and then we'll join those endpoints up. And close the sketch. And we want to make sure that we've got equidistance, and it's 28 wide. So right mouse click to finish, and then I can just start on the next feature, which I'll do the lug out on the side here. And again, I'll do it the same way. So starting here, come out a distance, hit the A key, make sure I come out the right way round, and bring it back to that same edge. First up, I will lock the center of the shape horizontally, and then add some dimensions. So this was 9, and the distance from here to that center plane was 36. So we can close out the sketch, specify inwards because it's an open profile, turn off the symmetric, and specify a distance of 10. Click, right mouse click to finish, and cancel. So I will take this one and I will use my mirror copy feature, and we'll mirror it around that face there. So next stage is to draw this piece coming down. So if I go sketch again, actually extrude, and I want to start drawing an arc by center, starting here, size of 30, from there around to here, so exactly the same as what I did before. So line it up centralwise, width needs to be 34, and made that a little bit big probably. So distance wise, I want to come from here up to there, that needs to be 70. That one drawn to size should be correct, as is that one. So then I just need to go in and trim away the bits I do not want to keep, and close the sketch. sorry, that distance was wrong. I'll have to come back and get that because that was 61. So again, we want to go symmetric and 8mm. And before I finish, I can change that to 61 to get that correct. So I now need to project this out to an angled face. So to get where I want to go, I'm going to create a coordinate system keyed in relative to the base coordinate system, and I want to come out in the Y direction 20mm, and I want to come 64 down, and then I want to rotate about the x-axis, and there's that -15 that we had before. So effectively it's the same. Distance wise I got that wrong. That should be -64. And you can see that we've now got it in the right place, so that needs to be finished. And from here I can create a reference plane normal to curve, and I want to pick there, and that sort of puts me into the right sort of spot. So if I now create another extrusion, I'm still trying to use the base reference planes because they're sort of more robust, and I'll use a rectangle by 2 points, and this needs to be 8mm high, so just tab between the spaces, and I'm sort of clicking on the edges so that I'm sort of right on where I need to be. And turn off symmetry, and the option I'm looking for here is from to. So the first option is from surface. I can right mouse click to accept that. To is going to be this surface here, or this reference plane, and that drops that in. So just going to add in the two rounds on here. So we've got a 4mm here, and just use right mouse click to accept and finish. So then I can create my flange on the face here. So I'm just going to do an extrude again. I'm going to use this plane here, and obviously this is positioned right where I need it to be, so just circle by center off this coordinate system. So 40 in the middle, and the others are 20, and make sure they're lined up and overlapping. So then I can have my dimensions, and by drawing to size we're obviously cutting out some of the resizing or positioning. So then we're just drawing our tangent arcs, or tangent lines, sorry. Making sure that I'm getting my tangency symbol on the second arc. Like so, and then I can use my trim and quickly whiz round to get where I'm after. So checking that I've got the circle which indicates tangency, and the box which indicates endpoints. So that's all finished nicely. Close the sketch, and we want to use a finite extent of 10mm to get that in there. So we're sort of getting quickly into where we want to be. So the last extrusion I need to do is on this plane here. So I'm coming with the line command down, out, hit the A key for an arc, and it wants to be somewhere. If you're getting pickups off other things, you can always hold the Alt key down and that turns it off. So I can place that point and then come back to join on that surface. I just missed the horizontal vertical, so as long as I don't pick a key point, it's not going to do anything other than straighten it up. And obviously I didn't let go of that early enough, so I can do a trim corner and just tidy that up. So dimension wise, it's 2 mil on here. It's 20 mils to the center. I haven't got my tangency on there. It's 70 to the bottom here. So as you can see, I've got a square rather than a cross. So I need to get a point on, so end point to there, and you see the change in relationship, and that's why this changed from being driving to driven. So then I can change that to red, make it 70 mil, and it will sort of pull it back to where we want it to be. And also want a distance of 24 from the center to that point there. And I will add the tangency in as well between those two. And one last dimension from here down to the arc is supposed to be 38. So close the sketch, open profile, so we need to specify which side, and we want symmetric, and this is a 6 mil on there. So we're sort of almost through. Need to add a round or two, so this one here is 24. And then I will add the holes in. So default size is 10 mil, which is this one here. So I will just draw on that face and place that, close it off. Then I will change my settings to a 8mm hole. And coming to the centers. And finally the ones on top are 9mm. So I'm just going to change that size first. And just hover over the edge of the arc and it gives you the center point, and we can close that off and finish. So then we just need to add in our rounding as we did before. That was done in ordered anyway, so it shouldn't really be any different. So start with the 1mm there. I will also add two millimeters here and here. And come back and do these other ones. And I'll do these ones at the same time. And then the underside of here. And then add this one in. So that finishes the part in ordered mode. So let's hide that plane and coordinate system. And that finishes this. So basically not too much different, just sort of some different workflows, but the same sort of principles in creating it. So in this design, not a lot of difference in the time to create the two. I did forget to create the pocket on the other one, but not a biggie. So now let's look at what happens when you want to make modifications. So let's just say that we want to sort of move this whole section down, say 20mm or 15mm. So if we turn it around to the right hand side in Synchronous, we can just do a fence select on that region, position the cursor or the steering wheel on an edge here, and then we just drop it down and specify a distance of 20mm and edit changed. So nothing too horrendous on that. Now if we look at the ordered model, we'll do the same thing. A number of different ways we can do this. Let's just take that coordinate system and we can edit that. So we just go to edit definition and we want to move it down another 20mm. So setting it up on a coordinate system made life relatively easy, but then you've got to come in and change the others. We've got errors coming in here. So if I go back to say this one, and I can probably edit dimensions. No, not on that one. Protrusion 1 is this one here. So double click on it and we've got a dimension on here, so we can just add in another 81. So if I've sort of modeled it right, it sort of works reasonably well. So that's that one fixed. So then we need to modify protrusion 4. So if I'd named these, it would have been a lot better. So I've got to go to the sketch on this one because I didn't actually put a dimension on. So let's just add that dimension, so that if you want to change it or it will fix it in, that will do the job. And we've sort of got that. And finally we need to adjust this protrusion here as well. So if we come in on here, actually I've got to just gone to the dimensions, we've got to change that one down to 90, and that drops that into place, and accept it. So again, nothing too major, but a relatively simple part, and the time frame to do this one to this one was quite an improvement. So just some differences between the two.